morning, so you already know what time it is. That means Friday Night SmackDown just happened last night. Lovely show. We had a steel cage main event, and then a lot of matches that were very short and inconsequential in some ways. But we gonna talk about all that. Don't mind all that. My name is Jordan Moser, and this is your SmackDown Recap and Review. First up in the night, we do have an interview for Daniel Bryan. Michael Cole's in the ring, and he asked him, "Hey Daniel, you had a tag match in the works for Fastlane. It was going to be you and Edge against Roman Reigns and Jay Uso. Why did you forego that match in pursuit of the Universal Championship?" Which was a dumb question to start off anyway. But Daniel Bryan just goes into a bit more detail. He's like, "Hey, I lost at Elimination Chamber after winning my third Elimination Chamber, and looking up at the lights, I see Edge get in the ring and spear Roman Reigns, and I've never felt like more of a failure." And that really hit home, because Daniel Bryan, he's failed a lot in his career, but he's also done some amazing things. That's the time where he's felt most like a failure. And really just feeling that ambition, like, hey, enough is enough. Like, I know who I am, even though I'm at the latter end of my career, I still am at the pinnacle. I still want to be the best, and that's why I'm pursuing the Universal Championship. That's why I still want a main event WrestleMania. I put too many people on the back burner already. I can't do that no more. I've been doing that for the past year. Can't rock with it no more. I gotta pursue my dreams. You know, dreams will fight for you. Tell him, Daniel. And so he's just pursuing that match at Fastlane for the Universal Championship, and that brings out the big dog, Roman Reigns, flanked by Paul Heyman and Jay Uso, of course. And Roman's just like, hey, man, you're not the top guy, man. You're not the top guy. You're the underdog. You're the little man, you know. You talk about you love this business. No, you don't. You need it. Love is not out of need. Come on now. You should understand this. But me, Roman Reigns, saying, I love this business. I love this because that cameraman needs me. They need me. Everybody needs me. But I don't have to be here. That's why I'm here. I do this out of love. And you don't understand that. So now Jay got to get you. And then Jay grabbed the mic. He like, hey, bro, your road to WrestleMania ends tonight. Because I got to get you. I'm starting to like it when he says that. Like, I got to get you now, bro. But it does end off. And we see Jay actually try to attack Daniel, cheap shot. And Daniel just arm drags him and sends him flying outside the ring. And him and Reigns stare down to kind of end the segment. Daniel Bryan, I don't strike an emotional chord with many wrestlers, honestly, but Daniel Bryan is one of them. Oh my gosh, he is such an amazing promo. He's definitely one of the most relatable baby faces that WWE has ever had, especially in like the last decade, 15 years. Like, everything he says just strikes an accord with you. It's so relatable. It's so necessary. You hinge on like every word. Every promo is just, it's fire when he gets emotional, honestly. And then Roman Reigns still playing up that character, just as like the big dog, like, hey, I'm the top guy. Like, you're not threatening this reign. You're not threatening anything that's happening with the Universal Championship at all. And then we see, of course, the steel cage match later on in the night between Bryan and Uso, and see how that kind of plays out, of course. Next up, I'm assuming we were supposed to get a tag team match between the Street Profits versus King Corbin and Sami Zayn, but as Sami came out first and was just talking and rambling and such, King Corbin eventually came out. He was like, look, bro, I don't like you. I'm not your tag team partner. I don't rock with you. So we doing singles matches. So our first match we had up was King Corbin versus Montez Ford. And a really nice clash of styles. We see just Ford's athleticism on display. A lot of drop kicks. A really nice standing moonsault for a 2 count as well, just versus Corbin's strength and tenacity. Didn't really last that long. We do see the end as Zayn distracts Ford outside of the ring. He hits an enziguri on Corbin, but then walks right into the end of days for the 3 count and the victory. And then we do see after the match, as they're kind of arguing and talking on the outside, Zayn's like, I got you that victory. I did that for you. And then he's knocked off the apron into King Corbin, and that just kind of causes a whole kerfuffle, and Corbin walks out, so Zayn has no more backup, just going into the next match, of course. And coming back from break, we now have Angelo Dawkins versus Sami Zayn. Doc had a bit of control early on, but once they ended up outside, Sami Zayn just using the environment to his advantage, kind of gained control for a good portion of this match inside and outside the ring. Doc eventually began to do his comeback, the clotheslines, hit a really nice running bulldog for a 2 count as well. But we do see the end of this match very similar to the first match. Ford is outside, he's messing with the documentary crew, and Sami Zayn gets distracted by that, like, get away from my cameras. get away. And that allows Angelo Dawkins to roll him up for the 1-2-3 and the win. Yeah, two really short matches, very inconsequential. Don't really feel much about them, but it was definitely just a good showcase of the Street Profits and singles action and stuff like that. I'm liking King Corbin a lot in the ring lately, just his character, so that's definitely an improvement as well. And Sami Zayn, his character is just amazing and bratty, and I love it. We even see him after the match. He's just mad at the camera crew and stuff like that. Like, who do you work for? I need answers. Blah, 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 blah. And he's just upset, and understandably so, of course. But yeah, just good short stuff. I'm not really gonna remember it in any way, but not at all bad, of course. And then we do have a short backstage segment. Reginald the sommelier just bringing up champagne to Carmella, and she's just like, hey, there's some snakes around here. Let me tell you about it. You the snake, rubbing up all on Sasha Banks and stuff like that, knocks the champagne out of his hand. She's like, ha ha, you're fired, ha ha ha. And I'm like, dang, not Reggie, bro, not the black man again. Oh my gosh. But no, it was pretty funny. He definitely had it coming, of course. Next up, we do have a match between Chad Gable and Dominic Mysterio. We do see for the first minute and a half of this match, Gable is technical wrestling the mess, like the crap out of Dominic. Like, it was pretty fun to watch. It showed how great he can be in the ring if they would just let him go. We do see Mysterio start to come back a little bit, hit a nice enziguri and a hurricanrana from the second rope, only for a 2 count as well. We do see the end of this match come, battling up top. Gable goes for a moonsault, lands on his feet, and as they just trade pinfall combinations, Dominic gets him wrapped up in 1, 2, 3, and that's a roll-up pin win for Dominic Mysterio. And like right after, Rey Mysterio's in the ring and takes out Otis, does a senton through the table, and they just like run off. They got their little revenge from the last time that they faced off against each other and such. But yeah, this was pretty fun, pretty inconsequential as well. Not that long as well, but definitely just good action between both Chad and Dominic. It showed how really good they can be in the ring as well, and definitely a good sense of revenge for the Mysterio family as well. I want to see Otis do more things, more destructive things, please. So we'll hopefully get to that within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, this was pretty fair stuff. Next, we do get a short little interview segment for Seth Rollins. He's talking about the humiliation that he faced last week and just getting swung by Cesaro longer than anybody has ever been swung before in their entire life. So he says he will not forget that, and he will make Cesaro embrace the vision. And then we see Murphy, of all people, show up and try to say, hey, I heard you need help with this Cesaro situation. Seth Rollins is not winning. He's like, get out of my sight, leave, go, get out of here. And thank you for not pairing those two back together, because we don't need them in any capacity anymore after like 6 months of the same thing. So please leave that alone. Definitely let Seth just do with Cesaro what he does. Leave Murphy out of it, please. Next up, we do have a match between Bianca Belair and Shayna Basler. These two women, of course, are fighting on their respective tag teams for the women's tag team titles at Fastlane. For some reason, they just beat them. I don't understand. Anyway, nice bit of back and forth at the beginning of this match. We do see Basler kind of take control, ultimately just attacking that arm of Belair. And just throughout the match, we see Sasha Banks on the outside just kind of scheming like she's kind of feeling that she's hurt, but that's also like her tag team partner and stuff like that as well to an extent. We eventually see Reginald make his way out as well as they're still fighting. Bianca does start to come back, ultimately ends with like a suplex and a back body drop. She tries to go for the glam slam as well, but just is thrown outside the ring. She lands right in front of Reginald, and she's not having it. She pushes him into Nia Jax, who's also on the outside, and then Nia's not having it. She pushes him into Sasha Banks on the outside, tries to attack him again, and ultimately lays out Sasha Banks on the outside. This gets Bianca Belair confused and distracted, and that allows Shayna to get on that Kirifuda clutch, which is ultimately reversed by Belair into the KOD to kiss of death for the 1-2-3 and the win for Bianca Belair. As the tag team champions are regrouping and stuff like that, both Banks and Belair are like, hey, you need to deal with this. Like, so somebody need to handle Reginald, because this is the problem. He can't be interfering and stuff like that. And Reginald tries to apologize, be sweet and such, and he gets slapped very hard by Sasha Banks for his troubles. And she just like don't get involved in my business. You need to respect that. You need to back up. And that's the end of the segment there. Fair match between both Belair and Basler. Just really nice stuff here. Not too inconsequential or anything like that. We'll definitely see how this kind of progresses in the next couple weeks heading into Fastlane for those tag team titles. Reginald is just a lost boy, man. He just needs somebody. He needs to feel at home with these women. Come on, he's just a cool dude. Like, give him a chance. Give him a chance, you know? So just fair stuff here. Nothing too crazy or anything like that. Next up, we do see a match between Murphy and Cesaro, a battle of guys with no first names, unfortunately. We do see Seth Rollins on commentary as well to kind of describe his stuff going on with Cesaro. This didn't feel like a squash match, but it basically was. We see Cesaro just on tap early, just using that strength in those suplexes, and Murphy does get a little bit swifty later on. We see him hit a nice tope to the outside and a nice meteor from the top rope, only for a 2 count, but after that, it was all Cesaro for like the 2 minutes that it lasted. We see him hit that uppercut train of the Cesaro swing as well, and then he locks in that sharpshooter, which Murphy taps out to, which Cole calls like 5 seconds before he actually tapped out, which was pretty hilarious. But yeah, we do see just Cesaro and Rollins just like staring at each other after the match, and that was pretty much it. Really nice showcase of Cesaro. He's the man. He deserves to be pushed as the man, and this Rollins feud is really hopefully doing a lot for him in the near future. Hopefully WrestleMania one-on-one match. I would love to see it. But yeah, it's just looking good so far. Murphy, he's fallen a little bit. He don't got Aaliyah or the Mysterios by his side no more. He's just in the rut, you know? Lame, come on now. Do more with Murphy. But just nice display of Cesaro here to kind of progress the feud a little bit, of course. Next up, we do have the newly rebranded Apollo Crews. He's coming out with the Nigerian color scarf. He's got the Nigerian elite guard behind him. He's got a really nice spear in his hand, and he's got an accent as well. And it's really poor, honestly. It's not that good. I don't know why they had to make him change his voice or whatever. He was doing just fine with the voice that he has. But we gonna let it slide. We're gonna let it slide. Because honestly, the promo was actually pretty good. Just talked about his Nigerian heritage and not being accepted for that when he was younger. Just getting asked a lot of ignorant questions in his youth. And now that he's here, he's just trying to accept who he is. And his ancestors, they told him, go ahead and claim your birthright. Show them who you are. Show them what it looks like to be a conqueror. And now that's what he's doing. He's got the whole new getup, and he wants Big E again for the Intercontinental Championship to show him what pure and unadulterated victory looks like from this African American man. Yeah, this was fine. Like I said, it was a pretty solid promo, just explaining like his upbringing and stuff like that, and his newfound goals and ambitions and things like that. But the whole presentation, leave it to WWE to ruin something. That was perfectly fine. He was doing good just his last couple of weeks, and now he's got the accent and the plastic spear and the Nigerian elite guard from NXT behind him, and it's a lot to kind of just shift into. So yeah, hopefully it gets more compact and understandable the next couple of weeks. But yeah, the presentation was weird, but the promo was pretty solid. And last up in our main event, we got the aforementioned match, Daniel Bryan versus Jay Uso in a steel cage match. If Daniel Bryan wins, he goes on to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at Fastlane. We actually do see a promo or an interview at the beginning of this match before it starts. Jay is getting interviewed, and Daniel Bryan just blasts him for doing all that talking and just walks off, you know, like a G. You know, we love to see it. Corey Graves is out to explain the steel cage match. Like, we haven't seen a steel cage match before. I didn't understand that. We see Roman Reigns come out before the match actually begins as well, and just sits on the ramp in a nice little chair. Just an arrogant move. We love to see it. But we do get just a solid lockup to this match. Jay is a lot in control at the beginning, just throwing him a lot against the cage to try to gain an advantage. Definitely made a couple of attempts to escape the cage as well, but cut off every single time. Later on, Daniel Bryan does continue to just harp on that arm. That's definitely his best plan of attack these last couple of weeks and months. Just going after that arm for the yes lock, so he was doing that a lot. And then eventually, just as we go into commercial break, they're battling at the top on the top rope, and Jay hits a very lovely avalanche Samoa drop, and both guys are down as we go into the commercial break. Coming back from break, and we do see them battling on the top rope once again in a really nice move. While Bryan is on the top rope over the ring and Jay is in the corner, he hits a super kick, sends Bryan to the floor below and hits a splash as well. Only for a 2 count, Daniel Bryan kicks out, and from there they're just trading shots, strikes. Daniel Bryan still trying to get on that yes lock, a lot of transitions and just throwing into the cage and stuff like that, a lot of escape attempts. And then we do see at the end of this match, as they're battling near the top of the cage and on the top rope as well, Daniel Bryan hits that butterfly suplex from the top rope, transitions into the yes lock and gets it on fully. Jay don't want to tap out. He's getting to the ropes. He grabs the rope, but it's no disqualification. Ain't no rope breaks here. And so he just can't take it anymore, and he has to tap out. Daniel Bryan wins, and he is going to Fastlane to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Just like he said, he's got ambition. We see him just cheering and yes on the top of the cage, while Roman just looks disgusted on the entrance ramp. And that is the end of the show. Really, really good match between Jay and Daniel Bryan. They really have never disappointed. Jay has really come up, I would say, to that main event level of just like caliber in-ring talent on SmackDown, which is awesome to see. I was a bit skeptical at first, but he's really pulling his weight and holding his own and stuff like that. But just a really, really good cage match. Very reminiscent to Roman and Kevin Owens and stuff like that in just terms of good cage matches on SmackDown. So that was lovely. Looking forward to Reigns and Bryan. I definitely think it should be happening later or at WrestleMania, but that's neither here or there. I'm looking forward to the match in general. And that was just your episode of SmackDown. Really nice episode. Really a lot of stuff that was just fairly average and inconsequential happened on this show. Really, this is the only match that had any like big implications or anything like that. It was also the best match on the show. But yeah, some stuff like Apollo Cruz's new little get up in character promo was very solid, but definitely getting more used to the character and stuff like that. And Daniel Bryan is definitely the star of the show for me. His promo at the beginning was beautiful and emotional and spectacular, and just this match in the main event was amazing as well. So everything is really coming together just on the road to WrestleMania. We didn't see Edge or anything like that on this show, so they only have about like 5 more weeks to kind of build to this WrestleMania match with him and Roman. So we'll see how that comes in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that's about it. That's gonna be it from your boy. You will see videos coming out throughout the rest of the week. We got AEW Revolution coming up. That's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. But that's gonna be it. I'm out. Peace. Continue to love yourselves. Continue to love others. Love your neighbor as yourself. You know what it is. You know what time it is. Come on. I'll see y'all around.